Hi. uh, I should start with the date. I'm thinking I need to start with the dates. Um, October 22nd, 2020. Um, I, I really, it's just been a rush today. Like just a rush, an extreme rush. I had to take a breather from work because it's just like this buildup. And, when you're just surrounded by a lot of high vibe people, right? And just experiencing that energy. And this is through Zoom. Like you can just feel the connection and the transference. It's just amazing. It's this morning was just so wonderful in the emotional connection and connectedness that I experienced with my team at work. And my colleague did a wonderful job of presenting this information. I I took a bunch of post-its. I'm a horrible note taker, or I manage things. Positive vibe. I'm working on creating a better system for myself, but when I hear messages, it's just post-its. I don't know. I have post-its on my mirrors. I have post-its on my kitchen fridge, my Instagram. It's posted lately. It's just been post-its, and work has always been post-its. Trying to organize myself, but it was just such a great start to what the underlying message is for what I feel is what's to come. I want to start off with how I started my morning with the meditation, and even just the night before. If I posted it, I don't think it'll have the timestamp, but it was, when I was trying to work out, to as a way to not work out, dance as a way to ground myself. But I went to bed like at 2 something in the morning, or 1 something, woke up at 5 something and meditated, and I had a dream about a spider. And I remember this morning. So last night, I did when I meditated, I did see my spirit guides floating above me, because I sometimes I'll meditate on the floor. On my mat, like I think I might have shared, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, because I don't know if that made the cut. But I like the feeling of being on the ground, because I really can visualize my root chakra. I'm sure you guys could look that up. But the root chakra, I can imagine myself connecting into the universe and rooting myself, or not the universe, in the world, the earth, and just feeling a lot more grounded. And then sometimes if I'm really exhausted, like if I start like nodding off while I'm meditating, that's my body's sign of like, I'm exhausted, I need it. So just because of what time I went to bed and knowing it, I needed to sleep before waking up, I decided to meditate laying down. And to be honest with you, the last time that I did that was also when I saw my spirit guides floating above me, which was really a surreal and beautiful experience. Before going to bed, so this morning I actually was cross-legged, and I didn't feel any messages from spirit. I didn't, like I felt like a disconnect almost. And even today, it's, I haven't had a lot of those same synchronicities that I mean, it just kind of like just stopped, like almost stopped. I think the only thing I did see 222, but I saw 222 when I happened to see MJ's message just right now. But I've been experiencing some tension here, bottom of my head, neck, and just up here. So I don't know. I mean, there's no reason for me to feel stress because I feel excited. But it's just, it's been uncomfortable, and I just requested a little bit of time and just, but so anyways, so after I did my morning meditation, I acknowledged, okay, I didn't get any messages or anything that stood out like before. And I did the tarot shuffle, right? It sounds like a good dance routine, the tarot shuffle. But so I did that. And so I get these two cards, two jumpers this time, right? And so this first one, let's see if, so it says failure at the top, and it's the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, that's what it is. The second card, power, 4 of Pentacles. So it tripped me out that they look very similar. They kind of almost seem like opposites, right? And then when I wrote down, I did write down, they came out. So I started with the 4, actually, yeah, I started with the 4 of Pentacles, and the words, focusing on the words on the top, right? Power, failure, and just looking at the 4 of Pentacles and how the boy is in the middle of the 4 many towers, and just what exactly the little book said, was that this 4 of Pentacles, just so you guys can see, Sun in Capricorn, determination and strength. The 4 towers of the sandcastle establish limits and boundaries of avarice, and greed, practical and concrete actions. Okay. So in other words, I mean, I see both sides to that, where it's determination and strength could be viewed as a positive thing, right? And really needing those limits and boundaries so that it doesn't transfer over to greed and, I'm assuming, avarice. I need to look that up. I'm not good with words, but it's more practical, right? Concrete actions. And then the 7 of Pentacles is focused more on the failure, and then it shows the girl in the middle of these circles, that it seems like she has drawn herself, these circles where she drew around herself, and then it seems like it's almost like a straight line that she's drawing with a stick, right in the middle, and those circles that she's drawing around her are like ripples. They look like, for me, ripples in the water, starting with her in the middle and as they get bigger, but she is drawing a circle or a line, right, that is cutting right through. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? And remember, I started off with the same questions. What challenge should I be aware of today? What challenge do I need to learn from? What challenge needs my love and compassion? And I just kept repeating those questions. Keep repeating those questions. And so the book, the little book for this particular card, right? For the little girl, Says Saturn in Taurus, fear of failure, limited productivity and performance. You need to potentially evaluate the process and persevere in order for something to develop. Let go of fear and failure. So initially in the morning, what stood out was the seeming opposite ends, right, between power and failure. Again, the duality, like just polar opposites. The two-sided experience, I guess, right? Fear of failing and the determination to push through. Both have their ups and downs, needing to have both parts in a situation, acknowledging the fears, right? And doing something anyways. All the while having the determination and strength to push through. Again, feel the fear and do it anyways. That whole concept. If things sway too much on power, there's the risk of the greed, the third party situation, work, like work relationships where it's just becoming a workaholic type of thing. Or the opposite end, right? If we're looking at too much of this fear of failure, then we're looking at limited productivity and performance, stagnation, right? Where you're just kind of stuck. And so I really felt, again, balance. Keyword is balance. Balancing. I mean, I feel like both of these are balanced. Like it's just, being productive and acknowledging the fear, right, behind whatever goals and desires and whatever you want to achieve, basically, because it's really out of fear that you have a choice, right? You have a choice to keep moving forward, push through the fear, or hold back and hold yourself back, in essence. So, this one, it looks like there's something being created right in the center, something magical, right? When there's balance with the with power. When you balance the power within you, you have the power within you. Whereas the failure, it started off as ripples, and then it just looks like she's losing focus, almost like distracted, like creating something different. That line, like it's off. I mean, even the positions of their body, it more grounded, right? More grounded. She could potentially fall over if she's not careful. I got this in my at work. I love my job. I love the people there. They're so beautiful. I love them. Out of nowhere, I went a couple weeks ago to move my stuff from my office. I got promoted earlier this summer, and I just hadn't moved out of my cubicle into my new office, and I was told I needed to move, right? So amongst everything that's been going on in my life right now, all these changes, all these losses, having to pack again, my work life it was refreshing almost. And that's when I realized I initially had the thought of leaving work, because I was packing and I could have easily transferred the boxes over to the other suite, and I didn't. I put them in my car and I brought them home. I mean, we're working remotely, but just that was the initial thought. That was the initial seed of there's just something else. I need to do something else, and I don't know what it is. And I want to say that was before all of this, right? Before doing this video journal thing, and sharing my experience. And so as I was packing, I was by myself in the office, and I noticed we have on our wall all of our names in that suite, and it's just a place where we can leave each other positive messages and encouraging thoughts. And as an agency, we'll get treats sometimes, so it's really nice. So I got this, and I don't know if you can read it, but it says, "You think you're just a drop in the ocean, but look at the ripple effect one drop can make." And I really liked it. It was a time that I really needed that encouragement emotionally. I wasn't where I am right now. And so that just kind of reminded me of the Seven of Pentacles also. Just the drop in the, like, just the ripple effect, right? And it's just so crazy. It's so bizarre, right, that they're both here. And they both have that same sign. I want to say it's this little, And then, to top it off, I added 4 plus 7, 11. I think that's like some special number, right? Because I know 1111 is I've seen that, but it said 11. And then you're supposed to break that down, I guess. So there's something called numerology. And so on top of that, there's destiny vibration number. And I know there's other types of numbers. So the destiny vibration number, you add your month, date, and year, all the numbers together. And if you get a double digit, you add those two together. And then you just kind of keep going until, I guess, you get one number. Martin Luther King's was a 1. And I read somewhere how it talked about, I guess that's a good thing. So, so I was like, okay, well, 11, 1 plus 1 is 2, right? And I'll be honest, I didn't look it up. But I feel like it means something. I had told my friend that I did that same destiny vibration for myself for my birthday, and it scared me because it also is a 1, and I didn't know. There's a little anxiety. There's a little bit of anxiety in terms of just the heaviness, of what that could potentially mean. And at the same time, excitement and fear, because the realization and recognition of the responsibility, right? The responsibility of owning this new person, this this union within myself, right? This balance. And I read somewhere about how, I guess there's people who desire, where did I read it from? I don't remember where I read it. But apparently it's some people desire to go through a spiritual awakening or not. I don't know. It was, there's just been so much information in my head that I've gotten over the past month and a half. I wasn't journaling in the beginning, and I should have, but I'm glad I started to now. I read somewhere about how some people really, really want it for their own personal gain because of what they can potentially achieve once they realize, right? Once they're able to materialize this, I don't know, power, for lack of a better word, this gift. And because it is a responsibility, it's not something to be taken lightly, you know, when you go through this experience. And again, this is just my experience, right? That's where I'm speaking from. And you know, it's just heavy. It's just some heavy stuff. Some heavy stuff for sure, for sure. So it was just interesting, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, this recognition that you need both, right, to be able to move forward. So going back to the presentation this morning at work, there was a lot of good notes, right? A lot of good notes. A lot of it reinforcing what I'm discovering, what I'm realizing, right? And just different ways to incorporate this with the people that we serve. You know, our supports, our clinicians, our support staff, and just down to our clients and our families, right? And so it was just, it was just so wonderful to be able to connect in that way and to feed off each other, almost like it's like my soul was being fed by the stories of my partner and vice versa. And we were just in sync with how we were sharing our experiences, and we were answering really the question that we were trying to answer that we didn't create was identifying or creating a wellness vision, you know, for ourselves. Create a wellness vision. And so there were questions, and you know, where we had to kind of imagine what we wanted, a vision for ourselves. And the response to all of my questions was balance, 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 balance. I mean, it was just funny, the different the side conversations about the questions and our experiences. And there was healing in that connection with this other beautiful individual. And it reminded me, and my boss reminded me, you know, she's been telling me, she's like, you see, you're supposed to be here, see, you're supposed to be here. She doesn't want me to leave, and I don't, like, I really like it there if I could, right? But trying to figure out what my calling is and what my mission, my purpose, right? I acknowledged and I said, you know what, I think for right now, I'm not supposed to leave yet. There's still so much for me to learn, and this opportunity to have learned from my colleague, again, humbled, right? I'm continuously being humbled and grateful for this whole process up to this point, as difficult as it is, and just you know, wanting to acknowledge that a little bit more. And in my conversation with this individual, when we broke out into smaller groups, we addressed this concept of replacing the illusion, replacing the systems around us, or these beliefs that we have about how things operate in the world. And you know what that means, right? With my experience, there is so much disillusionment. There's so much internal conflict as a result of these, I mean, I can't speak for all the books, but as a result of how certain books, right? How certain books, what the message is, how the messages are being communicated, right? Even everyday books, right, that are influenced. For those of you that don't know, this one's influenced by an American-born Buddhist nun. So it's a lot of Buddhist concepts. And because of how it's structured, right? How those messages are conveyed, there has to be an element of trust, right? There has to be an element of belief, of faith, which is believing in something that you do not see. There has to be an element of conformity, right? Amongst the different denominations. And if you don't conform within those boundaries, there's consequences. And I've heard, testimonies of different individuals and different experiences that they had where the church kind of, pushed them away or cast them out or just turn the cheek, when certain expectations are not met, right? And then there's some organizations that it's all about love. It's all about we accept everybody, right? And then when you get caught up in it, sometimes you start seeing, oh no, it's not about, it's possibly about loving everybody, but it's a different type of love. It's a conditional love because of a certain lifestyle, what we label as lifestyle. And it's just, again, when you come to these realizations, how does it resonate with you? Because that's what I focused on, is how does it resonate within me, what I believe at heart, not, books aside, how does it resonate with your heart? How does it resonate with what's in here? And if this isn't opened, you won't know, because you're just operating from your mind space, right? Problem solving, critical thinking, it's logical, and really opening up this heart chakra is the key. It's the key to that unconditional love, right? That recognition of what's healthy, what's not, because you're in tune with how it sits at your core. And here it's more logical, more problem solving, where you can easily get, right? I'm thinking of a shepherd guided this way or guided the opposite way. When I first started meditating, I saw more visions in my meditation. And I think it was one of the first times I asked Spirit, what am I supposed to do, right? What is my goal? What am I supposed to do? As I was experiencing some of these things, I kid you not, I saw the image of what I assumed to be Jesus holding a lamb, and it was so peaceful. And it looked almost like a tarot card, but I'm like, I haven't seen that, right? But this concept of being a shepherd, of being a guide, of being, and there's so much tenderness, at least the image that I attributed, right, to a shepherd. There's tenderness in how you guide your sheep. And then just thinking of Jesus Christ, really, right? How he would, go out for just that one, right? The one that was lost was as valuable as all of these that he had here, you know? And like this recent experience, you know, with my twin flame, of not pushing away, not judging, not no longer desiring that same need, right? That not need, desire. It's just a desire. Like I don't feel it. I don't feel it as strong. I think the love is still there. It's just a different love, and it's a love that's unconditional, a love that's all of those things, like a brotherly love, right? A partner love, friend love, and there's still a little hope, but it's transforming, incredibly transforming. And I listened to MJ right before I recorded this, and the crazy thing is that she was highlighting specific things that I had recorded in last night's video, and I really felt like that message just resonated with me. And I called my friend that was working with me on this project. I'm like, we have to do this. We just have to jump in, right? It's okay that it's not complete. It's okay that it's choppy. It's okay, right? Because the whole purpose of it is to get it out, is to start that ripple effect. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more. There's going to be more people chiming in. There's going to be more. There's going to be more. And I'm just realizing that the pain is gone. I think it was just this bottled up, like, I need to get this out. I need to get this out. I need to get this out. Yeah, the illusions of how we see things, how we label things. And we can't pretend like it doesn't exist, right? We can't pretend that those dark sides, labels, those parts of us that are possibly, you know, negative self-talk, or you know, I mean, there's truth in if you say and speak negatively, that is negative energy that you're pushing out. But at the same time, you know, you have to have a balance, right? And so if it's too much without doing the healing, I think that's when it becomes toxic, right? But if you're doing it to be able to heal, right, in that process, you're swaying, you're interacting with other people, you're getting the support that you need, you're getting the love that you need, the therapy that you might need, right? That eventually will subside, and it'll be more balanced. And that's that piece, when you are able to heal yourself, that's when the magic happens. That's when the transformation happens. That's the center. That's this point right here in that transformation. I don't know if the other videos are going to be uploaded. I hope they are. That's the moment of transformation. The union part, the acceptance, the alignment of self. The alignment of self. And if that's just one person, that's just one person, right? And using that to be able to transform others, using that to be able to heal this world that is just so much in pain, whose heart chakra has been closed off. It's you know what I imagine? I don't know if you guys have seen that one movie, something Cloud. Oh gosh, Tom Hanks, and what, Atlas, Cloud Atlas, or something like that. I imagine that ending. I imagine that ending. You know, where they're just sitting around the fire, grounded to the earth, and there's so many children, and everyone's just telling stories underneath the stars. Like, that's what I imagine. Something like that. Something so peaceful, something fun, something light, something beautiful. That's what I imagine. That's exactly what I imagine. And it's gonna take one person, right, to start that ripple effect. And it everywhere. So it's gonna take one individual everywhere. I mean, I have my, let me turn this around. I have my map up there, right? One person all around the world to start all of those ripples. And you know, once you create a ripple, right? If a ripple here and then a ripple here, and then I don't know if you've ever seen that, and how it all kind of blends into one. It's exciting stuff. So on top of that, throughout this experience, the tarot readings, right? There's transformation even within me of this. I realized it when I was listening to certain messages where I'm like, it was a Gemini reading, right? And I don't know if I mentioned this in another video. It was a Gemini reading, and Chris, I follow him as well. I think it's Minnow Pond. He's so positive. I really like him. He made a comment about how he kept. He said that he mentioned Taurus. He mentioned Taurus in my reading, in terms of like he kept saying, I keep referring to you as Taurus, and he's like, you could have Taurus in your chart, whatever that means, or you could be like borderline, the cuspers. I think I've mentioned that before. And so he had said, you know, if you are borderline, or if there's another sign, you can go look at that other sign and listen to that message, because there's probably something in there that will resonate for you. And that made me think about this ability to transform, right? And take on characteristics of these other signs, right? And what that would look like. And so I did that, actually. Craziest experience. I did that. And at that time I was following someone else as well. And I went to her YouTube channel and listened to the Taurus message, because I'm actually May 22nd. And I believe Taurus ends May 21st. And so I listened to the message, and I kid you not, she kept stumbling. Her words kept stumbling, and instead of Taurus, she kept saying Gemini, Gemini, and I was just like totally tripped out. And then even this whole twin flame experience, in the sense of looking at the tarot and the messages from these guides, I noticed that there were moments where I would shift something or a choice, and then the next one I saw would match it. And then to top it all off, it would change the sign. So I was following the storyline, if you will. And then all of a sudden, the way that it's interpreted, right? They're like, oh, you have Leo in your chart. You have Leo in your chart. But that's the twin flame, right? Fire sign. So I noticed that a lot of the messages as they were coming across, sometimes they would say whatever signs were there, but then they'll say, or a fire sign, if it wasn't a fire sign. If, let's say they were talking earth signs, and they're like, or a fire sign. But I always interpret it as twin flame. They're talking about my twin flame. And so just this realization. So then on top of that, more recently, I think like 2 days ago, I started seeing, there's something in me that said, go look at a Leo. Go look at a Leo, right? Because that's often what they would refer to as a fire sign, Leo. And then that totally resonated with me. So then I wrote it down. I can potentially be what I am, all the elements, when I need to be for the collective, right? And so then if I am all the elements, well then so can you be all the elements. And I mean, imagine, right? What the possibilities of how, if we do our healing, if we transform, if we shed our ego, right? And we focus more on the collective, we focus more on each other, on wishing the best for each other and wanting the best for each other. That was actually one of my goals. I have it posted up, abundance in all areas of life for self and others. If that's the focus, and there's more, right? More people with the same goal, Imagine what kind of energy would get pushed out. I feel better. The pain is gone. So I'm gonna stop it there. And yeah, thanks for humoring my creative thoughts, I guess. I don't know. But I feel happy. I feel good. I am nourished, fulfilled, and complete in this moment. Thanks for hearing me out.